I think Putin seriously miscalculated in many respects, miscalculated the resolve of the Ukrainian people to fight back. They're fighting back with great heroism, but also miscalculated the response of the rest of the world, which was to come together on a very punishing set of sanctions. Was very pleased to see the president today banning Russian oil and gas, and we're following up with legislation which we expect to be on the floor as soon as later today. And we will explore other steps to further isolate Russia and its economy and raise the costs to Russia and the Russian people for this monstrous act of aggression. I think it has been a brutal realization, not just how well the Ukrainians are fighting, but how poorly his own troops are doing. So I think he feels, or should feel, that he has his hands full more than his hands full. At the same time, we have to be very careful, and I think the administration is, to make sure that we don't get in a shooting war between the United States and Russia. And the nuclear saber-rattling by Putin, I think, is destabilizing and dangerous. And obviously we're taking whatever statements that he makes seriously. But I think the Russians have taken on more than they can handle with Ukraine in and of itself. It certainly is rich to hear many of the same Republican colleagues criticize Biden, who refused to hold President Trump accountable for withholding military aid to Ukraine. And what Americans need to understand about that sordid chapter of our history is Ukraine was even then at war with Russia. It was a long, simmering, but bloody conflict in which Ukrainians were even then dying every week, sometimes every day. And President Trump withheld military assistance approved by Congress on a bipartisan basis, did so because he wanted to pressure Zelensky, the same now wartime hero, into trying to smear his opponent. And I think what that told Putin, tragically, is the United States doesn't care about Ukraine, it doesn't care about its people, it doesn't care about its democratic aspirations, it doesn't care if Ukrainians get killed by Russians. I think that's the message Trump's conduct sent, that we would use Ukraine as a political plaything. And I also think that Putin anticipated that that were he to invade Ukraine, he could count on President Trump either to praise him or to criticize Biden, and we've seen tragically both. I think he's been deadly wrong, and yet our expectation also was that if he was wrong and he met stiff resistance, he would only double down and treble down. And that's what he's done. That's what we expect he'll continue to do. And so it is very hard to figure out what's the off-ramp. I think what we can do is just continue to escalate the price that he and Russia have to pay for this. I think the world has to respond and help these refugees. And we're taking up a package that I think will just be the beginning, frankly. As my understanding is, it'll be a $12 billion package that will provide economic, military, and humanitarian support, but there will be more to come. I think we need to do our part to help the countries to which Ukrainians have fled, to provide them succor, and we need to do the same ourselves. And we need to do so, I think, as a humanitarian matter, and we need to do so as a national security matter as well.